Welcome to Saturday Morning Talk Show, Spilling the Tea to Juliet G. It's every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. GMT time.
I just want the ball, make them give them, make it enter. I just want the shy, make them feel and make it scatter. Oh my God, them they feel am from my bro. Them they tell me say you bad, them tell me say you win award. Oh my God, them they feel am from my bro. Them they tell me say you bad, them tell me say you win award. Oh yeah, money, why I'm on you? Money now, money long as you collect money. Oh yeah, money, any money. Money now, money long as you collect money. Now I'm moving loco, I can't see myself anymore like I'm in coco. Melody joking, coco loco. I can't see myself anymore like I'm in coco. Oh my God, them they tell me say you bad, them tell me say you win award.
Quite bad.
Oh my God, them they tell me say you bad, them tell me say you win award. I just want the ball, make them give them, make it enter. I just want the shy, make them feel and make it scatter. Oh my God, oh my God. Stay on your tippy toe. I'm really in my zone. I call my plug at 2 a.m. to send me the barcode. Oh, loco, go. So you're good to good. According to your body size, all of now I'm moving loco. I can't see myself anymore like I'm in coco. Melody joking, coco loco. I can't see myself anymore like I'm in coco. Oh my God. Them they tell me say you bad, them tell me say you win award.
Quite bad.
Oh my God. Them they tell me say you bad, them tell me say you win award. I just want the ball, make them give them, make it enter. I just want the shy, make them feel and make it scatter. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wakey, rise and shine. Morning, everyone. It's your girl, Juliet G, live and direct from the Supreme Studios. Yes, it's another super Saturday morning. Welcome to another exciting edition of your Saturday morning talk show, Spilling That Tea to Juliet G, on your number one community radio station. That's Supreme FM, superior to many and absolutely inferior to none. And don't say we don't give away good prizes, because we've got not one, not two, but 4 Alexa smart speakers to give away. So, in a very easy competition, but you're going to have to stay tuned to hear more later on in the show. So, we are Supreme FM by name and absolutely inferior to none by nature. No matter what part of the world you are tuning in from, thank you for tuning in for the next couple of hours. It's your host, Juliet G, where I converse with real people and get them to spill that tea, and that's a T with a double E, and get them to talk their truth. And I'd just like to say, genuinely, and I'm saying this genuinely, I hope you are all doing okay. For the next couple of hours, I have an action-packed show for you, and I'm going to do something slightly different, as my guest will have to exit the building a bit earlier than usual due to another engagement that he has. So I'll give out all my information towards the end of the show, and I'd just like to say I will be in conversation with Lee Townsend shortly, who will be bringing us community news and information, so stay very tuned. Now, I'd like to give a big thank you to my guest last week, Ashley Rose, yes, for bringing us news and information from a young person's perspective. Ashley will be back next month. Can you believe it? Next week is next month. Next week, Thursday, to be precise, is the 1st of December. And then we will be counting down to Christmas and the end of the year, and we will be welcoming 2024. Can you... Oh no, 20... Oh my goodness, I've just skipped a whole year. 2023. Maybe 2023 needs to hurry up and go, because that might be not so good. But anyway, we're going to stay on a positive note. So before, I always like to start my show with a prayer. So bear with me while I bring my big sister on. Yes, just bear with me.
Dear Lord God, Heavenly Father, as we come together again today to listening to Spilling the Tea to Juliet G and her guests, I pray that you give us all the strength that we need to see us through today and this week in whatever it is we have to do. Continue to watch over her as she goes about her community work, her Insta Live on various topics, and her guest today that's going to be sharing his experience. Continue to watch over us. Continue to guide us. Continue to be with us in all things that we do. So, dear Lord God, as we listen in, hear our prayers, and a prayer that we know. Teach us, good Lord, to serve Thee as You would serve us. In Jesus' name, I lift these few words up to You and ask that no weapons formed will prosper against any listener or my friend Juliet G as we listen in whilst we're spilling the tea. In Jesus' name, I hand this over to You. I hand her over, I hand over her program, and I hand over every listener that listens in to Spilling the Tea to Juliet G. Amen.
Just ask Christ to be your Savior, and He'll start from within. He's back, trust and see. Oh, that God is good, and He always will be. All the time. And know that
Cause everything works out for the good. And all your problems, they're just challenges. Oh, you'll be alright. Put your trust in Christ. Don't say they think that they just don't belong. Tell me why. Some say they think the gospel is wrong. Well, that's a lie. Just ask Christ to be your savior, and he'll give this to you. He's back. Trust and see that God is good, and he always will be. And know that he'll never leave. No, he'll never leave. True to his word. Yeah. If you only believe. You got to. He's back. Come on. Trust and see. Don't worry. That God is good, and he always will be. And know that. Got to know. He'll never leave. Never leave. True to his word. If you only believe. I'm not saying there won't be drama. Temptations every day. But the Lord already knows what you're going through. He's already made a way. Trust and see. Trust and see. Said he's good to you and me. Trust and see. Trust and see. Oh, you got to ease back. Trust and see, yeah. Got to know that God is good, all and he time. Always will be. All the and time. Know that got to know he'll never leave. You got to know. True to his word. Yes, he is. Only believe. Yes, he is. He's back. He's back. Trust and see. Don't worry. Got to know that God is good, and he always will be. Yes, it's and know that he'll never leave. He's good to me. True to his word. Yeah, yeah. If you only believe. I believe, I believe, I believe, back. I believe, I believe, I believe. Trust and see. You got to know that God is good, and he always will be. And know that he'll never leave. He's true to his word. If you only believe. Just believe.
Oops, welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. And if you are just tuning in, welcome and thank you for choosing Supreme. I'd like to bring on my guest, drum roll. I need sound effects. I seriously need sound effects. I'd like to bring on my guest, Mr. Lee Townsend.
Hi.
Do you hear the drum roll? That's my sound effects. That's as good as it's gonna get.
I hear you, man. How you been?
I've been okay. Just tired. It's the story of my life at this present moment in time. But what can I say?
I'm so tired just now. It's not even funny. I'm glad that I'm on the radio with you, because at least I can talk when I'm driving down to this speech competition. But yeah, I'm knackered, man. Absolutely knackered.
So, welcome back, Lee. And despite you've been a real busy bee.
Yeah, I have. I've been buzzing.
Mm-hmm. So, what have you been up to? Can you share?
You know what? I've gone a blank. Obviously I shared with you and your listeners a couple of months back that I was joining Toastmasters.
Yes, you did.
It's an international speaking organization. So I'm really enjoying it. I joined a wonderful club in the form of Speakers on Croydon, but there's Toastmaster clubs all over the world, not just the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And I entered one of their speech competitions. So I was really nervous about it. Well, I'm not really nervous, but I was thinking I'm a new kid on the block. I've only been in the club for 3 or 4 months. Let me take it easy. But I entered, I won the competition for my club. I went around to the area and I won that competition as well. Came first in that, and I'm on my way to the divisional competition now to see how things pan out today.
So Lee, just to enlighten us, what is a Toastmaster?
A Toastmaster Club is an organisation that helps people develop their communication skills. But a lot of emphasis is placed on public speaking. So it's about speaking, listening, the way that you use your body language to communicate with people, the way you put together a message and convey it in the most effective way, the way you use a stage. So it's really about enhancing how you communicate with people, and there's different pathways that you can take. So everyone has their own journey, and there's about 12 different pathways also that you can select. So one might be presentation styles, one might be leadership and inspiring a team. I'm doing motivational speaking. There's some about management, there's project management, there's a whole load of different things. It's almost like some people refer to it as the cheapest MBA you can ever do. I don't think it's quite as intense as an MBA, but certainly the skills that you receive are really crucial in helping, even in your relationships, your romantic relationships, because obviously you're listening more to your partner, you're taking on board the way that you pass the message on to them. So if there's an argument, one would hope that you start using those things that will be less defensive or less defense as you articulate your points.
So has it helped you, Lee?
I don't know about in a relationship. But yeah, it's been good. It's really has helped.
Haven't you tested it out?
No, it's like really seriously. In terms of obviously, I do a lot of speaking for my job.
No.
But it's really helped me to enhance my delivery and how I use because I think I'm quite I gesticulate quite a bit when I'm speaking, but I think now I do it with far greater purpose. And the way that I move my hands and the way I use facial expression.
So you're very animated.
Yeah, but I think now it's more controlled, and I'm still learning. And I think also now when I give a speech, it's more like a drama production in terms of, I think I'm a lot more engaging than I used to be fair. Yeah, so it's really great, really, really great place. And what I like about it is that it's such an encouraging environment that it doesn't matter how hopeless you may feel as a speaker you are. Yeah. It's the skills that you develop and the encouragement, because part of it is just doing it, isn't it? So
True.
The more you do these things, the more you're going to learn and the more you're going to progress.
So Lee, if any of the listeners, because this could be something that they could take up on, what kind of things would they need to do to join?
Right, let me start with this. Anybody who's listening to this and thinking it's not for me, I'm not a speaker, you're the exact person who should be considering to join the organisation. Anyone who thinks that, I'd love to do that, but no, I'm just too shy, or no, I spent too much effort. We've had people who have joined our club who were getting married, and the reason why they sought out a Toastmasters club is because they knew that they had to do a speech at the day of their wedding, or they're doing a best man speech. They want to prepare for it. And I've seen so many people who are so introverted transform, and you fake it till you make it. So they're still introverted, but when they're speaking, it doesn't come across. It comes across as if someone who's so suave, who loves.
That's a bit like me. You're describing me, Lee.
Yeah, right.
I'm a shy person.
Well, no one would guess.
Listen, this is Julie Fierce. Beyonce's got her own alter ego. I have mine.
Yeah.
This is me on the radio.
I hear you.
I'm a different person live.
You're asking how people get involved. The first thing I say to anyone is, don't push yourself to join a club. Put the pressure on visiting as many as you can.
Okay.
Because there's so many. And when you find the one that fits your personality type, because they've all got their own culture, their own practices, the way that they do things. So when you find one that suits you, that's when you can consider joining and make the most out of it. So I visited a couple of clubs in Jamaica.
Lee, hold
Break.
up, stick a pin in it, because we are coming up to that all-important community break, and I don't want you to lose vital information, okay?
Let's go.
Okay.
e3souls.com.
Welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. Welcome back, Lee. Yes, you were telling the listeners about the Toastmaster, how they can get involved.
Yes, I was saying that the best thing to do is visit as many clubs as you can, and the easy way to do that is if you just Google Toastmasters International.
Mm-hmm.
You can put in your area, your postcode, whatever, and it will bring up all the postcodes in your area. And then you just contact them or just visit the meeting, the scheduled meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, a lot of the clubs are doing hybrid or the option. Some meetings are physical. Like for my club, we do 2 physical meetings per month and 1 online one.
Okay.
So they're all different. They've all got their own way of working. I don't really like the online meetings. I don't think it has the same vibe.
Yeah.
Because of the climate that we're in, I recognize the importance of me developing my skills and speaking online because I'm having to do those kind of presentations all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so you get to learn those spaces. So even the competition today is actually a hybrid competition. Some people will be competing online, but I wanted to be present, so I'm driving to Kent so I can be there to deliver my presentation physically.
Mm. Yeah, I prefer physical. It's a bit like you know, when you meet people, there's something about you can pick up their body language, you can eye contact, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think when you're speaking as well, when you're online, you can't get the instant feedback that you get from the audience.
No.
So I'm someone who connects with people based on emotions, facial expressions, like cues very easily.
Mm.
And I find that absence distracts me when I'm online. So that's one of my things I need to brush up on. As I said, I'm trying to polish up and develop some skills. So as I progress, I'm sure that I will adapt and become a more smooth in my approach. But the other thing I'm going to say to you is about the money side of things. So you can visit any Toastmasters club you want for free, as often as you want. But once you take out membership, that's when the fees come in. It's about £160 for the year, but it's so...
What did you say? Did you say 160?
About 160.
Okay.
It could be more or less, depending on your club, I guess. But what you get for it, the training, the mentorship, everyone's assigned a mentor, the opportunities to meet other people, and with the online meetings, I'm able to join meetings from all over the world. So I'm looking at different clubs and their timetables to see which ones I want to go to.
Okay. So you can go to any club?
Yeah, any club if you're a member. But if you've been as a guest, you can go to almost any meeting. So last week, I went to the competition for another district. So the winner of that competition will be at this one. And another area, I should say. And the meeting was held at the Amazon Innovation Center. So there's a whole load of people that enter from staff members at Amazon, Ocado, and those companies, and work in the tech field. And they're very, very good speakers. The competition today will be extremely high. So I'm going for the experience. As I said, I'm a new member. Whatever happens, happens. I'm just enjoying the ride.
Listen, you know, as I say, you got to be in it to win it.
Same way.
So
my mother would say, CM so.
And nothing ventured, nothing gained.
There you go.
And you know you're going to gain a lot from it. And you never know whose doors it might open. Right, Lee, what do you have for us this morning?
So, one of the things that I've noticed this on Thursday, and it slipped by me, it was Carers Information Week. And I was just thinking about and reflecting on the fact that within our community, I mean, generally speaking, a lot of young carers don't really acknowledge the fact that they're carers.
Yeah.
And a lot of young carers don't even acknowledge the fact that they're carers, but also in our community, we don't use the term carers. It's a foreign concept to us. We think about it as our family members who we support, and it's our job, it's our responsibility.
Yep.
You know, so it's really strange. So people, and also some people, especially in the case of young carers, they're scared that they might be split up from their families. If I'm taking care of my mum or my auntie or whoever it may be, then they're going to think that I'm not being taken care of myself, and I'll be taken away from my parents to have to go and live in care. But that's not quite the case, because being a carer is like a protected characteristic. And if we can acknowledge it, then there's actually support that we can get from our local authorities or the state. to help us in that role. So I really just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And I know that you've got some experiences as a carer yourself that not
Oh,
many
Lee,
people are
don't
aware
even
of.
get me started.
Oh gosh.
I don't.
So
You might have opened a can of worms here. Don't get me started. Being a carer is no joke.
but you know what though? And I think this I only really realized it when I was reflecting on it today.
Sorry, say that
So
again.
I only really realized it when I was reflecting on it today.
Mm,
So my wife is a carer for me. So
okay.
I've got learning disabilities. So I've got dyslexia, dyspraxia, and ADD,
Mm,
attention deficit disorder. So some common things that I will do. I will leave the iron plugged in and go off about my business.
mm-mm,
On a number of occasions, we've had the neighbours knock our door in the morning and say, "Lee, you realise that you left your keys in the door all night."
mm-mm,
So there's certain little things that my wife has to do just to make sure that I haven't slipped up or I get carried away with my, I guess, my hyper focus on something else or
mm.
my distractibility, and then I miss certain things. And everyone, oh, Lee's fully functioning. Yeah, I consider myself to be, but there's challenges that I have, and
Mm,
she literally provides that additional layer of support for me to make sure that I can go about my business and achieve the success that I do in my daily life,
mm,
Because even work's a challenge with the challenge that I have. And without the support of my family and some of my friends in my network,
mm.
I wouldn't be able to progress the way that I have. So I don't want people to think that you have to have some big, massive problem in all, that you're helping someone deal with in order for you to be a carer. No, it can be quite small.
Well, it's not really small though, is it? There's no, as they say, there's no issue that is small. Everybody's issue is big to them, you know.
Yeah, I hear that, but I'm just
Mm.
trying to paint that picture for those whose mindset is not in that realm that we're
Yeah,
speaking about,
yeah.
so they can relate to it for themselves. So,
Mm-hmm.
all of the people who are listening now who have got a child with autism or they might have dyslexia, one of the learning difficulties you mentioned, it could be Asperger's, it could be that you're supporting your mother who's got severe arthritis.
Mm,
You are literally a carer. If
mm.
and there's things like you don't have to hide it from your workplace. So if you're caring for somebody and they're sick, you've got, under the Carers Act, you've got the right to leave work to go and take care of them. In the same way that if your child was sick at school, you've got the right to leave work to go and collect your child.
Mm. And work also has a responsibility, a duty of care for you
Of
to
course, of course, of
support you
course.
in that.
Absolutely.
So even if you have to change your work time or work pattern, they have to accommodate
Of
or
course.
appear to be
Of course.
accommodating.
So these things are really important. I think that there's so many of us, we're scared of shame, so we don't want to tell anybody about our situation and what it
Mm.
is that we're going through or doing.
You know what? You know, when it comes to the black community, our thing is to keep quiet. We don't talk. We don't talk up. There's is it the embarrassment, the shame? I don't quite know what it is, or maybe because we've already been groomed not to talk, to keep quiet, not to have your say,
Right, right, right.
you know, and don't things like don't chat my business is a famous one.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's just pride. A lot of it is pride.
Hmm.
And a lot of it is, what I think as well with our people. So if you remember, well, I don't know, you ain't gonna remember. I don't think you're that old, but during slavery and those things,
Lee, what are you talking? Go on, Lee. Go on.
so during slavery, during slavery and all of that, we were forced to during slavery we were forced to pretend that we couldn't read and to hide it.
Mm,
As time progressed now, and education was something that was open to black people and or people of color or slaves who had been freed. Education was something that you strive for.
mm,
Now we know that a lot of our parents, grandparents, whatever else it may be, would have been unable to read,
mm-hmm,
and they would have tried to hide that ignorance. They wouldn't want anybody to know. So a lot of the things that we're struggling with now today is that inherent belief that we can't let anybody think that we're stupid.
mm,
Can't let people see our flaws. And as a result of that, I believe, I'm not saying that I'm absolutely correct
mm,
because I don't have knowledge. I believe that the reason why we don't express our weaknesses or our vulnerability is because we're scared of being seen of A, being weak, or B, being seen as stupid.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know it. And that's why a lot of times we hide these things. But again, I go back to the cultural element, and it's that we just see it as doing our responsibility. We don't see it as a task or a role or that needs to be titled as carer.
So how do we overcome that?
I think that we need to educate ourselves. I think that a lot of us are a part of support groups, so we've got friendship circles, and I'm with a friend now who was telling me he was out with a group of men that meet every night, every Friday night, and have discussions for the last 20 years. And we've all got our friendship circles, so having these little debates and sharing these pockets of information is something I think is vital for our community. Because if we don't try to share and spread knowledge, then we're going to continue to remain in darkness.
True.
You know, and darkness is certainly not a place where I want to rest.
Nope.
You
I
know?
love the light.
So really got to change it. And there's support out there. There's financial assistance for some people, you know. So it's important that you tap into these things and that you allow your local authority to know that you're a carer and come in and do an assessment. The assessment doesn't cost you anything. And some local authorities are a bit manipulative and will try and avoid it by saying, you know, it's going to cost you, or we need to know what your finances is. Assessments have nothing to do. The beginning of the assessment needs to take place first before anything about your finances to discuss.
Yes.
In any sort of situation. So that's their tactics to push us away, because they know that we might not have the knowledge. They will do that to delay giving us the support that we deserve.
And I suppose a good place to go to seek help before you even go to the local authority is your local Citizen Advice Bureau.
Definitely.
You know,
100%. And there's a charity called, I think it's Charity Access or Access Charity. They provide an amazing service on their website where anybody who has a disability or is gaining support from their local authority but needs a reassessment because their circumstances have changed, they have it's called a chatbot, and when you type in your information in, it doesn't store any of your details, but it will take you through and recognize what your situation is, and it will produce a template letter that you can download. It's written with all the legal jargon and terms, and then you just, when you've downloaded it in a Word document, you then put in your personal information. So Pauline Richards from 86 wherever, your phone number, whatever else it is. And then when you send that to your authority, because of the way that it's written with all those legal terminologies and stuff, because it's written by lawyers, that's designed this thing, they respond to you and you get everything in time because they know that you're aware. It tells them what the statute is, the time frame in which they have to respond to you. And then you see things happening in the way that it ought to. And it's totally free. Again, it's something that I'm going to send to you that you can share it with your listeners and those who are connecting with you on your socials and stuff.
Yeah, I'll post it up on my page. Yeah. Anything else?
No, but I know you're going to say something, so I'm going to pause.
Yes, I do you know what? I want to talk about the footballer Benjamin Mendy. Now, I'm not talking about his specific. I just want to use this as a tool for conversation. And the reason why I'm bringing up Benjamin Mendy, if anybody knows of the case, he's a 28-year-old young man. He's currently on trial, accused of seven counts of rape against 4 women, 1 count of attempted rape, and 1 count of sexual assault against 6 young women. He allegedly locked women in panic rooms in his mansion in Cheshire whilst hosting parties, and some of his alleged victims claimed that their phones were taken away from them on arrival. He told the court honestly, it was so easy for him to meet up with women and have sex because of his status. Now, his co-defendant, Louis Sahar Mataya, 41, denies 3 counts of rape and 3 counts of sexual assault relating to 7 young women. Apparently, Mataya was the fixer, so to get the girls back to the properties after nights out in Manchester. Now, both men insist any sexual acts that they had with women was consensual. Now, the reason, as I said, the reason why I'm bringing this up, Yuli having 2 daughters, how important is this for you as their father to make them aware of the signs of men taking men or young boys taking advantage of them when they come of age, for them not to throw themselves at men and young boys and status and money, because rather than them just saying, don't have sex or don't do this or don't do that, it's important that you have to start having these conversations when the time comes. Because, when I look back at, growing up, I think there's some conversations that should have been had by our parents or by maybe older siblings for us to be aware of, things that they may have experienced, to be, so that it makes you aware of. Because like now people are talking about menopause, and menopause is not something that has just happened. People have been having menopause from day dot, but they're now talking about it. It's like cancer. They're now talking about it. It's like being transgender, they're talking about it. Being gay, they're talking about it. So, it's important to have these conversations so that people are equipped. And I think, that having young daughters is not just good enough because you give them the life skills, you would think, oh yeah, common sense, they're not stupid, they wouldn't do anything like that. But people are vindictive. There are very vindictive people and manipulative people that you don't even come across in your lifetime. So, how do you prepare your daughters, or anybody's daughters for that matter? How would you?
So I think first of all, the issue that you're talking about, it's not a male issue for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's preparing my daughters for life, because what might come to the fore and what we see in the media is about men who are sexually taking advantage of women, but there's out there doing the same thing as well to other women. So it's not a gender thing. I think it might be more common amongst men, but it's not. It's men. So I need to prepare my daughters for life, and as it relates to how people can be manipulative and can take advantage of them if they get the opportunity to do so. First thing, I'm preparing my daughters for life, and I'm preparing them to be aware of their bodies and the fact that it's their sanctuary, if you want to call it that. It belongs to them, and nobody should be touching them or forcing them to do anything against their will. And my period. But when they're of age, it should be something that's consensual and that they're comfortable with, and that they feel in an environment where they feel safe. But it starts from now. So what we did, there's two things that we started with our kids from as soon as they were born. We're basically telling them the names of their body parts. And when putting on their trousers or taking it off, or their shirt, left and right. So both my kids know their left and their right, almost. But they also, from the moment they could talk and were saying most words, they also knew that they didn't have a Pepsi or a private bit or whatever else. They had a vagina. And the reason why it was so important for us to teach them the word vagina and to know where it was, what it looks like, it's a part of the woman's anatomy, is, of course, while I was in Jamaica with an educational psychologist, and it was around sexual abuse and molestation amongst children, which wasn't in the Caribbean and still is. And what she said is that it was so important for children to know the proper names for their body parts, because it sends a clear signal to anyone who might be thinking about interfering with them. The child is mature and therefore has a higher probability, or there is a higher probability that the child would report them if in any way or so. That's the signal it sends right away. This little baby saying vagina. The child is aware. So that was the premise under which we wanted them to know their body parts, because we're not trying to protect them from using words. That's what it's called. We're trying to protect them and allow them to let others know that they know it's called, and they know that it's something that's personal to them that nobody shouldn't be touching. So that's the first thing as a child. As an adult or as a teenager, or as a child with a little bit more age and a little bit more autonomy around their movement, I think that we teach our children these boundaries. So even now, we don't encourage them to sit on the laps of other men and all that kind of stuff, because
anybody.
Exactly. The risk that could be there. And we're very cautious about. We don't allow people to kiss them. Like we was at one nursery we sent our child to, and we saw one of the teachers kissing the child, and I reported it. It's inappropriate. I don't expect anybody to be kissing my child because none of them are family members, and there's no reason for it. And it's sad that we live in a world where things have to be like that. But the fact is,
this tune has really got me in. I just love this tune. Oh, welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. Can you hear that tune, Lee?
no, I can't hear it.
Oh,
like
sorry. I'm sorry.
You yourself and have me here in
I'm
silence.
sorry. I'm sorry. So if you are tuning in, welcome. This morning, I'm in conversation with Lee Townsend, who is bringing us community news and information, which we don't hear on our mainstream media. Now, Lee, before we went to break, we were talking about we weren't actually talking about the Mendy case. We was actually we're using it as a learning tool. So anything that I bring, I'm using it as a learning tool so that we can actually learn from it. So you was talking about what were you talking about, Lee? Come on.
We're talking about my daughters, and I was saying that how I tried to prepare them from an early age in terms of knowing their body parts and stuff.
That's the one.
I think if they get older, there's other things that they need to understand. And I guess if they form relationships, they need to have very clear lines of demarcation where when they say no, whoever they're around understands that they mean no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why I make sure that they're engaged in their martial arts. So hopefully they look a bit of karate or kung fu or whatever you want to call it will allow them to protect themselves should they have to. Like, I think respect is something that you can't just expect to receive it. You've got to first give it. And I try, and I don't think I've got necessarily the answer to everything, but I can only tell people what I do based on my moral compass or what I've seen other parents do that makes sense to me and adds up. And I used to be a photographer. I am a photographer, but I used to be a club photographer, a nightclub photographer. And one of the things that I found very uncomfortable, and let me just make a point of clarity. I don't believe that there's anything that anyone can do or a woman can do, for example, that allows or gives a man a right or anybody else to force themselves upon her. So I don't think once a woman says stop, it doesn't matter how far you went, it's time to stop. That's my personal view.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to paint an observation. There are particular groups of women in these nightclubs, and I used to do a lot of the ones up in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd find them when they see people like the likes of Mendy or people who are buying bottle upon bottles coming into the club and with the sparklers and the rest of it, they would hover around those areas to try and get into VIP or to get around there and be drinking. And sometimes when I'm taking the pictures of these people, you'll see them trying to pose with the glass or the bottles. So I think this new Instagram craze of showing wealth or living the high life has forced a lot of people to put themselves in situations where they become vulnerable. So they're drinking, they're not washing their glasses when they put them down, so you've got no idea what's being placed in it. If the guys seem to be wealthy or popular, it almost felt as if they could do more, get away with more. The behavior could be more lewd and it'd be tolerated. And I don't know what happens when these ladies leave these clubs and they meet somebody for the first night and decide to dance and bump and grind with them for the whole night and whatever else it may be. But for me, I think it sends the wrong message. But again, I want to be very clear that no matter how much a woman bumps and grinds or how much she drinks or how much she kisses someone that she's met for the first time, nothing gives anybody the right to go any further with that individual than what they're happy with. So, but I'm just really conscious, and I hope that my girls don't go out when they're old enough with a state of dependency or where they're preloading on drinks before they arrive at a particular place because they want to be intoxicated for the night and it's cheaper that way, kind of a thing. I
I really hope they're not trying to, that they're being lured in by men who have on expensive watches or have the most expensive bottles of alcohol coming to their table, because that's no life.
Do you know what, Lee? Don't you think that that's why it's important to not make your children materialistic, or not make them chase the money, as opposed to, like when it's almost like not being starstruck. Like when you see a star, no, they're just like me and you. So it's making your children aware that you don't need to be starstruck, that they are just human beings like me and you. It's just the jobs that they're doing that makes it slightly different, that they earn more money,
I agree with you 100%, but I think some people interpret not making them be influenced by material things and stuff means depriving them of it. So like, I just started running. I think I make sacrifice for my kids to the things that I want to and I think about. So I bought her a whole load of tracksuits from Nike. I think she got a couple of Adidas ones. She got about a few pairs of trainers. But now she's running and she's gonna be doing her stuff around charity and stuff. And I want her to wear the things that I'd want to wear. If I'm gonna buy sportswear and I can afford it, those are the brands that I'm gonna wear, and I'm not gonna deprive her of it. But at the same time, I need her to understand that wearing those things doesn't make her any better than anybody else. And not because we can buy you certain things, it means that you should be treated differently by people. So we try to inculcate that in her and to help her to understand the importance of showing people respect, irrespective of what they have or what they don't have. Do you know what I mean? So I just want to clarify that as well, because I believe that you give your children what you're comfortable giving them.
Yes, absolutely. And they have to be aware of that.
Of course. And I don't want her to think that she should be confident when she's wearing a particular brand and not confident when she's wearing another. You should be confident every single day in your uniform and now.
But then isn't it about mixing? Excuse me. Isn't it about mixing? Because you're talking about brands, like you can go to Pramani, for example, but you can still wear designer and mix and blend. So it's how you put your stuff together.
I think to each their own. I wore Primark when I couldn't buy anything else.
Well, there's nothing wrong in Pramani.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but you wear what you're comfortable with. And for me personally, I like to feel quality stuff. I like to feel certain types of material against my skin. I like the wear and tear. So like 4 shirts, 9 out of 10 times I'll be wearing a shirt that's by Ralph Lauren, and I'll buy them on the cheap when I go to the States, or I go in TK Maxx or whatever it is. But I like the quality of it. I like how it fits me, and I love the durability of it. So that's my thing. So to each their own, whatever you're comfortable with. But I found a designer or a label that I think gives me quality at the price mark or the price point where I can purchase it, and that brings me comfort. And so I don't really care about what anybody thinks. I don't care if other people like it or not. I know that it brings me comfort. I know that the socks I wear are some bamboo kind of material, and it feels really nice on my skin, and it makes me feel as if I'm caring for myself, and that's part of my well-being.
Well, that's it. That's all that matters. Now, Lee, talking about parenting, because I want to move on because I'm really conscious of time. The young mother that committed suicide, I know you said that you didn't. There's a young mother who committed suicide, jumping in front of a train with her 3-year-old daughter, which the media are saying was due to the cost of living struggles. This happened in 2019. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just talking about there are a lot of people that are currently going through things at the moment. And my mum used to say, what may be hot at the moment will definitely go cold. Yeah. So, what's hot will eventually calm down, and it's not going to stay hot forever. There's always a light at the end of that tunnel, and there is help.
Everything under the sun.
Yeah, and there is help out there to deal with whatever it is that you're going through. Now, please talk to someone. Yeah, and that's the listeners. If you're going through something, please talk to someone, anyone, because they say 2 heads are better than 1. And as my friend used to say, even though one is a cocoa head. Right. On a serious note, please, please, please seek help. There is really no shame in it. It's better to deal with things than to sweep it under the carpet. Lee, before I ask you, I just want to give a couple of helpline numbers out there that people can go to speak to, not go to, but they can speak to at the end of the telephone line, and they're non-judgmental. And that is Samaritans. It's a free helpline, and the number is 116 123. Very easy. 116 123. And there is Mind, that is 0300 123 3393. That's Mind, 0300 123 3393. Unfortunately, this is not a 24-hour helpline. They only operate Monday to Friday from 9 till 6 p.m. So, sorry, Lee, back to you. What's your thoughts? Not about the actual case, but when people are going through their struggles, and this this is something I can only talk about us as Black people. We don't talk. We don't talk about when it comes to money. Not that people need to talk about money, but we don't talk about if we're going through financial difficulties, who to go to for help, for shame and fear. Even going to your parents, if you've got that option to go to your parents, or an elder sibling, friend, whoever, they might not be able to help you financially, but they might be able to help you sort out whatever it is that you're going through. So what's your thoughts, Lee?
All right, let me first of all just tell people about a website very quickly. There's a website called Turn to Us. So it's turn, the number 2, and then us.org.uk. And what they do on that website, a lot of people use the benefits calculator that they have on there to see what they're entitled to. Or to get, but also, anyone who's in a profession, so if you're a teacher, an administrator, any kind of profession you can think of, most of them, when you're going through any sort of hardship, there's certain organizations that offer grants, and you can find it on that website. So let's say, for example, you're a nurse and you're going through some financial struggles at the minute, and you're having to use the food banks, and your fridge broke. There might be a grant there where they buy a fridge for you. So there's a number of different grants available on that. Links to a number of different grants on that website, and you can check it out. So that's turntous.org.uk. If you type in Turn to Us, just type it in Google, it should come up as well. So that's a good one. But when it relates to our struggles and our problems, like, look, if you think of us as, in the analogy, we're pressure cookers, as humans, we're the weakest kind of pressure cooker you can ever find. The seal is not too good. So unless we release some of that pressure, the lid's going to blow, and it could hit someone in their face. So I would just say to you, rather than explode, find somewhere that you can talk. A lot of organizations now have mental health first aiders. A lot of companies offer free counseling services with independent counselors. But just talk it out, walk it out. Sometimes going for a walk and clearing your mind can help, but I would say always try and find someone that you can share with. And sometimes it's easier to speak to a complete and total stranger than it is to speak to somebody that you know.
Absolutely.
We all know how it is. All families have politics, and no one wants to be the black sheep of the family, or the person who everyone's pointing fingers at and laughing at and chatting about, especially if you're boasty when things were going right. But on a real, sometimes you just have to talk to a stranger. I'd rather go outside and talk to a tree than allow that pressure cooker to explode. Who do you talk to, Juliet?
Everybody.
Sorry? Yeah, who do you speak to?
Everybody. I actually do. I am one of these people. It actually depends on what it is.
I agree.
When it comes to if something is bothering me, I'll talk to anybody. If you happen to call me on that day and ask me, how am I will tell you. That is just me. As my son says, Mum, you say everything, and I do, because that was one of the things that my son used to hate. He used to say to me, Mum, you talk too much, right? And the thing is, it's not talking. Because if I keep it in, right, I think I'll be more dangerous. So it's
I
best
hear
that
you.
I keep it, I take it goes, because once it's out, that's it, then it's not festering, it's out.
You know, I was speaking to somebody this week, and I was saying to her that I kind of compartmentalize my life. So I've got different friends that I will share different issues with.
I think we all do.
Yeah, and she said, "Oh, that's not friendship then." I was like, "Well, I'm not necessarily sure that I agree. I feel like you've got
Different people
zones
for different
you'll
things.
feel comfortable exposing yourself to, and I don't want to make myself completely vulnerable to any one person other than maybe my life partner. And even then, it's not everything I let her know.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that. He didn't really mean that.
Oh, yes, he did.
Oh, no, you never.
Yeah, so yeah, but two is so important. I think for me, while it might be more the peripheral stuff, I just love my football group. Like tomorrow, I can't wait to take Naomi to park run, rush and drop her home, and then go straight to football because that's my. Yeah. We chop it up, man. We really do. My football and my barbershop. My barber's my therapy, man. Honestly.
And I suppose for me, my thing. I mean, I have I have so many people that I talk to, so I can't even choose just one person because I talk to right about now. They are tuning in and listening. So if I call anybody's name and leave another person out, I'm in trouble. So, and as my brain is very frazzled at the moment, if the names are not in front of me, I don't want to offend anybody. So it's best that I don't. I just say that, I love them all so dearly because they mean so much to me, You do, and even as you get older, you have your bona fide people, and I can count them on my hands. That they have been there from, no matter what I'm going through, they just know. They know when I'm down. They can tell me, Juliet, what's up, even if I don't talk. They know, which is very rare because I offload. So if they don't want to talk to me, which I'm very fortunate and blessed, they always listen to me. They listen to me and they just let me sound. They let me sound. They are my sounding board. Everybody needs a sounding board. We all need someone to talk to. It's very, very important. And the numbers that I did give out was from Samaritans and Mind. And there are a whole load of, if you go into Google and you Google helplines, there are so many out there now that help. And they've even got for young people as well, for under 25s. There are specific helplines for under 25s, for transgender, for gay, for lesbians as well, for single parents. There are just so many. It's a minefield. So as they say, if you look, you will find. Seek, and it shall be brought unto you. Is that the right one? Am I just making that one up? Have I just made it up? I must probably just. Oh Lord, help me. Help me. Lee.
There's another organisation called CALM, Campaign Against Living Miserably.
Yes.
And they've got a talk. I can't find. They've got a talk. Well, you can also speak to them online if you don't want to speak. So some people don't want to speak to somebody where they can hear them and stuff because it feels too real for them. They'd rather just type away. So on that, they've got a chat bot where you can speak to somebody via text. So that's another one.
Yeah. Lee, I'm very conscious that the time is going, so I want to thank you. Thank you so much for bringing us your community news and information, and as always, your contributions are very much appreciated. Lee will be back with us next month with me. God, can you believe it? It's the end. Will be the end of the year, Lee. And we will be reflecting over the year of 2022. And we'll be doing our end of year special on September. On December the 31st, we will be reflecting. So that will be a good one.
Well, listen, thank you so much for allowing me onto the show. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Again, if anybody wants to get in contact, you can check me out on Instagram. I am Mr. Townsend, and I'm happy to respond to your messages and we can chop it up. So have a great weekend, everybody, and take care of yourselves.
Hey, and thank you, Lee. And good luck for later.
Thank you.
You're going to blow it out the water.
All right. Take care.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
All right then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Lee Townsend, and he's going in for a competition. I'm just letting you all know. Did I really say that? Good luck, Lee. Oh, Lord. Welcome back to Spilling That Tea to Juliet G on supremefmlive.ning.com. This is the last segment of the show. Doesn't time fly when you're really having fun? Yes. On that note, I'd like to wish Lee, if you're tuning in, good luck and all the best with the competition. We are backing you 100%. So I know when you come back, you'll be giving us good news. Yes, keep it supreme with me, your host, Juliet G. Hashtag spilling that tea. Next week, I'm going to be in conversation with Teresa Young, relationship master coach doing our monthly special. So you know what you need to do. Don't forget to set that alarm clock from now, because you don't want to miss this. Yes. Now, just a quickie. Yeah. A quick reminder. Now, nominations for the monthly Young People's Prize Draw has finally come to a close. And all I can say is thank God. Yes. Thank the Lord. Now, I don't have a monthly winner this month to announce because I had no nominations. Nobody saw fit to nominate a young person between the ages of 7 and 11 years. That's fine. That's no problem, no issue for me. I get to keep my money. And I can honestly say it has been a challenge this year. Getting people to refer young people has been a real challenge. I cannot say how challenging it has been. I can't emphasize enough. We need to do better. Support our young people. Yes. Encourage them, do things. We can't expect things to fall in our laps, especially when people are out there doing things. And I'm not just talking about myself. I know that there are other people in the community doing things. Proud and Gifted, for example, celebrating young people. Come on, people. Support. That's all we ask for is support. Anyway. That's me getting off my little high horse. Now, back to the matter at hand. I just want to say congratulations to the young people that have either self-referred or their family members have referred a young person. Our January winner were Roche Hope. She self-referred herself for doing really well in school. And Ruben Adeyemi, who was nominated by his mum for doing really well in sports. Now, in February, Emil Best was nominated by his auntie for doing well in school. And in March, Malachi Diet was nominated by his dad for doing really well in... do you know what? Question mark. And Rhea Kerwin was nominated in April by her mum for doing well in school. I feel really bad. Do you know, my brain has gone to mush. I'm going to blame it on menopause. One day I'm going to talk about menopause. But Malachi, how come I can't remember what your dad nominated you for? Was it school or was it sports? Help me. And this is where the fun and games is really going to begin. Because the monthly winners will now start preparing their statement to read out to you, the listeners, on Saturday, the 24th of December. That's Christmas Eve special. And they are going to say why they feel they should win the trophy and a £50 voucher and a certificate. Yes. So they're going to be nominated by you, the listeners. And all you have to do is send a text. And I have a special designated number. It's all the 6s and all the 9s. They're in there somewhere. I'll tell you, I will give it out to Why am I laughing? Why am I laughing? Anyway, and the trophy is being is going to have the young person's name engraved on it, and it is being sponsored by Martin Winter of James Shoe Care in Barkingside, and they get a £50 voucher each. As I said, I can't wait. So this is going to be fun, absolute fun. Right. Now, today, guess what? Is week 48 of the weekly financial challenge. So, we are saving £48 today, making a grand saving total of £1,176. Not long left to go. By the 24th of December, we should have saved a grand saving total of £1,378 to spend on anything that you wish. Now, next year, myself and Martin Winter are teaming up to do this challenge again, and we will be calling it the Coinage Crew. And we have set up a WhatsApp group strictly for weekly notifications only, just informing you of how much you need to be saving. So there will be 4 ways you can save. You can save forwards, which I had done, which I must admit I have found extremely challenging. But you know what? You've got to try it and see what works for you. So you can save £1 a week for the first week, £2 for the second week, £3, and so on and so forth. And when you get to week 52, you save £52, and that's forwards. You can do it backwards, and you can save £52 on week 1, and then £51 week 2, and so on and so forth. And you can save fortnightly, or you can save monthly. So as I said, there are 4 ways to save. You can save forwards, backwards, fortnightly, and monthly, and it's your choice. So DM me if you are interested. I'm going to set up a WhatsApp group with just strictly Coinage Group information. That's it. I've just got just a few bits of information to give you before I sign off. Now, guess what? I mentioned earlier on in the show that Supreme FM will be giving away 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, but they're giving away 4 Alexa smart speakers. Yeah, courtesy of Supreme FM. Now, all you have to do is text your name and the word Alexa, that's Alexa, to 07985 130 998. That's 07985 130 998. Now, it's so simple. Just text your name and the word Alexa, and you can do it as many times as you want. Yeah, because there's 4 up for grabs, and the winner will be announced on Saturday, the 10th of December. So hurry up. I want one of my listeners to win. And when you have one, just message me and let me know. Yeah, I have nothing to do with it. I am not behind the scenes. I'm not management. But I want one of my listeners to win. So check out the Supreme FM business page if you are looking for somewhere to go. There's a lot happening over the festive period on Insta or Facebook. So you can check out Insta or Facebook for details for all the upcoming events. And if you are a new listener to Supreme FM, you can download the Supreme FM app from your app store. And it's free, and you can listen to Supreme on the go and literally anywhere in the world. And I'd also like to say hello, Alex Akka, because I know you're tuned in. Do you know what? I can't even remember what country you're in. Are you in the States? I know you're in Europe. Italy, that's it. You're in Italy. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. On that note, if you do have any community information that you would like to share, DM me via Instagram or spilling the tea to Juliet G. Now, coming up next, we have Martin J till 12 noon. And then from 12 to 2 p.m. we have La J. And from 2 till 4 we have TLC. And from 4 till 6 we have DJ Lee. And 6 till 8 p.m. we have WJ Goodgroove. And from 8 till 10 p.m. we have Lloydie Banks. And from 10 till midnight we have DJ Squeaky, and from midnight to 2 a.m. we have DJ Navera sitting in for Uncle Nuts until he says so, and if we are extra nice to him, he might go on till 3, maybe even 4 if he's feeling very energetic. And if you haven't heard him before, you are in for a treat. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is the Supreme FM lineup for this Saturday/Sunday morning. Now, if you are not following me on Insta, it's Spilling the Tea to Juliet G to keep updated with the show. That's the radio show, and when I actually go Insta Live. And I will be going Insta Live this Thursday. And I am going to be talking to an amazing couple who met online. So we're going to be talking online dating. So have you had experience of online dating? Good, bad, or indifferent? If you have, come and share. Let me know. So it's definitely the same time next week for your Saturday morning fix. Remember, tomorrow is not promised. So love and appreciate the people who are in your life. And most importantly, love yourself first. Don't let nobody's negative behavior, live rent-free inside of you. Don't let nobody's negative behavior live rent-free inside of you, because they will just damage you with their toxicity. So, till next week, #spilling that tea. Have a blessed day and a productive week ahead. And the next time you hear my voice, I will be going live on my Spilling the Tea with my co-host, Angela Reed. So take care and stay blessed.
I know what you did. Yeah, I know. And I wanna talk about it. And I know you don't. I've been holding guard for so long, so long. And I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start now. Tell me where you hide. Where do you go? Tell me, is she nice? Does she know I know? Tell me why you lie. Tell me why. I don't know what you are. I don't know what you are now. What you did. Yeah, you know I love you, but I can't forgive it. You could tell me stay, but I have to go. 'Cause I would not expect someone to stay around if I let them down. It's funny how right when I let my guard down, you play around. And no, not this time, but we can't hate shit out. It's too late for me to stay. I wish all the things you say was what your behavior displayed. I know I could've done without lies, lies.